So right after this, I'm going to call him and be like, what did you say? What did you say to Nirali? At one point, it felt like it was just us and the doctors working, Don't ever compare yourself to anyone. I'm really proud of the fact that the career I have today is, yes, with the blessings of the surname my parents gave me.
Hi Shruti, welcome to India Today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, before we start this conversation, I would really like to compliment for the fact that bestsellers trailer, it is something that I found out to be very intriguing, and there's this curiosity that has been generated amongst the people already, like before its release.
Thank you so much. That makes us feel so happy. Like being a part of the team, like that's just an amazing thing to hear. So thank you. That's what we were going for.
Yeah, my first question to you is, what's the feedback personally been for you ever since the promos of bestseller are out?
It's been really positive, and I'm not just saying that. Exactly what you said. A lot of people were like, even my closest friends who don't lie to me, they might, I've shared things with them and they're like, it's okay. But this time they were like, no, it's really intriguing and we want to see what happens and we want to know who this person is. So that's really been the feedback, exactly what you said, that it's intriguing and that, they found it quite, they were asking me like, come on, tell us, who are your friends. And I was like, no, watch it.
Yeah. Also, talking about your character, what were the challenges that came with playing your character in the series?
I think I wouldn't say it was challenging in that sense because there wasn't much physical work. There was diction, which I had to focus on. It was a type of Hindi, that I had never spoken before, and we don't normally speak in urban cities, of any kind. And but for me, the challenge was really she's many women rolled into one. Like she's very interesting and layered as a character. So it was about me really doing a lot of internal reflection and homework to play her with as much clarity as possible.
Yeah. And throughout the shooting of the series, was there any particular scene or say a shot that took a toll on you emotionally or say mentally?
I think that, I wouldn't say it took a toll, but there are days which are, I wouldn't even use the word exhausting or draining, but I would say like you can feel it. Like you can feel it in your body and you can feel it in your mind. You can feel the emotional work. And, you come home and you're like, whew, I can feel it. I can still feel this story with me. And, those are the days I actually really, really look forward to because that's been a good day at work, where you can feel it. But I also like to then take a moment to like center myself and my energies and get back to Shruti,
Yeah.
It's about honoring me too and then honoring Shruti. And I like that whole exercise. Really, call me crazy, but I love it.
That's great. But also, people have seen the promos and obviously they are looking forward to watching bestseller. I want you to share some lesser known fact or say an anecdote from the sets of the series that people aren't aware about yet.
I think, when we've done the best we can, we've worked really hard. But I think what I take away is that we shot this during probably the peak of the pandemic. And just as we were like getting into a schedule, like, when you're like, yeah, I'm feeling the rhythm of this, like any job, we had to shut down again because there was a lockdown. And, we just went back and forth working this around the pandemic and COVID and safety protocols. And I think none of that shows on camera, but that was the behind the scenes. And it was really challenging. And, I felt that we were so blessed to be able to get back to work because a lot of offices hadn't opened, schools and teachers weren't like functioning. And at one point it felt like it was just us and the doctors working,
Yeah.
And I think that, what it taught me was that it wasn't about me as an actor, but, the film business, the entertainment industry employs so many daily wage workers. And I was just so happy that we could get back to work and restart, and it was a great lesson for me in terms of how like human beings are super resilient.
Yeah, that's great. Also, I recently spoke to the producer Siddharth of Bestseller, and he told me that even before the release of bestseller, there are plans to make a second part of it. So I want to ask you: can fans expect you to be in the second part?
Do you know what's funny? Siddharth Malhotra has not told me this. So right after this, I'm going to call him and be like, what did you say? What did you say to Nirali? Like,
Okay. But also, if you have to describe your entire experience in a few lines, how would you describe
it
about
was
bestseller?
it was really exciting. I was excited to play Meetu. I've had a great time playing her. Genuinely had the best time playing her.
That's great. Also, when you started off in the industry as an actor, did you also have to, be subjected to certain various, judgments, considering you are a star kid?
I think there were expectations, but I'll never take it for granted that the door opened because of my surname.
Mm.
And I don't think I had the maturity or the understanding at the time to know how to read between the lines. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot of what people say is not what they mean, and you have to like read between the lines. And I've always been a very direct person, and I was too young to know like how to be direct in a palatable way. And I think that I didn't realize the expectations and pressures. And I wasn't a trained actor, and there was a lot of learning I had to do, and a lot of adapting that I had to do. And I'm really proud of the fact that the career I have today is, yes, with the blessings of the surname my parents gave me, but I've never had them pick up a phone and get me a movie or help me in anything really. I call them to tell them I love them and ask them for advice about life. A lot of the times they didn't even know which films I was signing. And so I feel really blessed to have a career that I can call my own. And the start was gifted to me like a loan,
Yeah.
to start as a startup, and I could like take it to this level with the support of some amazing directors and storytellers and good people that I've met along the way. And but definitely I don't feel it was a pressure more of the name, but it was really a pressure that of different things, like me as a woman, the kind of woman I was. I had to like change the way I appear to people, and it felt very dishonest to me for a long time. So I had to like take a break, reassess who I was as a woman. It was all very exciting. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, that's great. But also, as a public figure on social media, have you ever been, subjected to criticism, say for your films or say trolling? How do you handle that as a celebrity?
I think I don't get trolled much, and for people who like want to see my bobs, if you know what I mean, I'm just like, bye, go and like talk to someone who can help you be a better person. But I think the only time I ever got trolled was for a film called Premam in Telugu, where, the original film was really loved and liked, and the character of the actor, the female actor, was really loved and liked. And I felt for a second, oh my God, should I not have done this? But I was like, no, I'm just going to do it my way, the way I like. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter. I like this story and I'm going to say it. And I loved the original. And I didn't want to be like her, and I couldn't be like her. So I just had a nice time. And fortunately, the film did really well. So I was like, thank God. And that taught me a very valuable lesson that don't ever compare yourself to anyone. And unless someone's opinion is offered with constructive criticism and kindness, you don't need to take it ever from anyone.
Absolutely. But from an industry perspective, if I have to ask you, what are your thoughts, about Hindi film industry's, sudden interest in South cinema?
So this is a question that I'm being asked in every interview now. I think that the interest has always been there. I said there's a generation of female actors like myself and my contemporaries who've been like jumping back and forth between Bombay, Hyderabad, and Chennai for years, and like Tamanna's a dear friend, and if I call her, she's like, I'm in Bombay shooting something, and then she's like in Chennai. And this is how it's been for years for us, really. And I just feel that I have looked at it as pan-Indian because of the home I grew up in. I've always seen my father's films do that, cross borders. He's had direct releases to Hindi, Tamil at the same time. Film Mekheram was shot in multiple languages at the same time. I remember Shah Rukh Khan speaking Tamil. I'll never forget it. So I've always been a product of that environment.
Yeah.
Then we had Satellite, where I know for a fact that the general Hindi-speaking population of audience was like, "वो Telugu picture हमें पता है, वो बहुत अच्छी है, वो actor अच्छा है." Before, and then finally Bahubali came and broke all of those things, like right across. It was like this huge chainsaw that cut through the middle. And then OTT changes everything, because you now give people the power to choose themselves, and they have chosen it. That's what this is a result of. I always say it's not like Lord of the Rings, where all the important people sat at a table and said, "No, we shall allow the South to come through." It's the audience that dictates this, and this is the result of it. It's the audience that have made Pushpa such a roaring success.
Yes. And just as you mentioned that Pushpa has become a roaring success, what do you think about, Allu Arjun's sudden rise to a pan?
It is not sudden. I just want to say this to everybody.
Yeah.
I have worked with him before. I have always admired him as an artist, because he is literally one of the most hardworking people you'll ever come across. I've always said this about Allu Arjun. He's literally one of the most hardworking people. When we did a film together, he has a beautiful positive energy on set. He's so diligent, so hardworking, be it on his dance, be it on his acting, voice modulation, diction. And you're seeing all of that in Pushpa, but to me, it's not a sudden rise. Like they say, like this success has 10 years of work behind it, which people don't see. And I'm so, so happy for him, because he truly, truly deserves this level of success for his hard work.
Absolutely. But, before we end this conversation, I want you to share 3 reasons why people should watch Bestseller.
I think it's something you can really binge watch. And I'm not saying it because I'm in it. When I was offered the script, I was binge reading it. So and it was exciting, and I think it's also something which is interesting, because it's well written. It's adapted from a book, and then it's like worked beautifully with our screenwriters. I love stories that have so many characters that all have something to say, and I think this is that series that has so many interlacing plot points and characters. And I think that it's nothing else really awesome is on Amazon Prime right now except us. No, I'm kidding. So, just watch it, because we've worked hard, and we hope everyone loves it.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And thank you so much, Shruti, for doing this conversation. It was lovely speaking with you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.